Joining me now is Clare Lopez, founder and president of Lopez Liberty, LLC. Clare, welcome back. Always so good to see you. As Owen just reported, President Biden is sending an additional $800 million to Ukraine for weapons and defense. Included in that package are 800 Stinger anti-aircraft systems, 2,000 Javelin missiles, and 100 grenade launchers, just to name a few. What are your thoughts on this assistance package? Do you think it's enough, Clare?
I think that the Ukrainians are going to continue to need a steady supply of these kinds of defensive weapons, whether they come from the United States or other places. But I will add that one of the most significant apparent additions to that defensive package, not exactly defined specifically, but some kind of air defense system for Ukraine, perhaps something like the S-300 system, which would be extremely useful, and I think even more useful than planes like those MiG-29s from Poland.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. We talked about that last week, and now that's not included, the MiG-29s. Why do you think that is? Why is that not being a consideration?
Well, because of the transfer mechanism, how that would work. The Poles were perfectly willing to supply these 28 MiG-29s, but they didn't want to send them directly from their territory into Ukrainian territory, proposed that they go by way of Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. The United States did not want to do that either, called it escalatory, that these would be coming directly from NATO countries. Not quite sure what the difference is between the kind of lethal aid promised today, but honestly, I do think that an air defense system like the S-300, if that's what it is, would be more effective in protecting the Ukrainians and especially civilian areas from aerial assault by the Russians.
We also mentioned that President Zelenskyy, as you know, spoke to Congress this morning, of course, pleading for help for his country. Again, he specifically requested a no-fly zone. We talked about this as well and the implications of this last week. That said, do you think it's now something that may be considered in light of current developments?
No, I don't. And I think that we see the alternatives being offered in the package that we've just spoken about, that President Biden noted in his comments today. I know that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, who spoke to the U.S. Congress this morning, asked again for aerial no-fly zone. But I reiterate, I think that an aerial defense system, an air defense system, could be as effective, perhaps more effective, even than jets in the sky doing aerial combat. I think an air defense system is really what's needed, and if that's what's in the package on its way, I think that could be very helpful, especially in defending civilian areas.
Yeah, Clare, something else I want to talk about. U.S. and also NATO officials both warned that Russia may launch a false flag operation involving chemical or biological weapons. I'd like to get your thoughts on that. And if that were to happen, what type of response do you think that should render?
Well, the United States has been I guess, revealing intelligence gleaned from their collection methods for a while now, which in some way I think is helping to kind of preempt the Russians from actually deploying those kinds of attacks. I don't expect to see chemical or biological weapons attacks, false flag or otherwise, by the Russians. But a part of that might be that the United States has just outed that intelligence publicly.
Well, Clare, so much more we can talk about. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much, as always, for your insight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.